Anger is an emotion nearly every human being to ever exist has experienced more times than they can count over the course of their natural lives. Some have let us use anger and stress and other of life's woes to help us build. Oh yeah. And it is a commonly held belief that expressing this anger or frustration in a safe space in the form of venting is a healthy and cathartic way of managing your stress levels. But is it true? Well, stay tuned because we are hopefully going to be able to answer this question for you, my dear unicorn viewer. Does venting really help, or does it actually hinder your ability to deal with and move past your anger and frustrations? A recent review published in March 2024 of over 150 different studies on anger management was carried out by the University of Ohio's Sophie L. Sarvik and Brad J. Bushman, and we will be using this to take a look into its findings. Now, quick disclaimer before we get into this, as stated over and over by the authors themselves of this review, they have pointed out that the findings of this review do not suggest that we should ignore or suppress the emotion or legitimate anger. Instead, they would suggest we should be more mindful of them and get to their core roots. This review was targeted at anger management techniques commonly used by people and their effectiveness, resulting in the positive change of emotional state when compared to others. And in the case of this review, the target focus was on venting and its effectiveness for helping to alleviate anger and stress and the ability to cause positive change in a person's emotional state. So with that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So what is venting anyways? We kind of already touched upon this briefly in the intro, that the process of venting is typically allowing yourself to recall or relieve stressful moments of your day in a safe space or to a safe person, such as a family member, a close relation, a best friend, Reddit. Well, okay, maybe not Reddit, but hey, each to their own. Actually, that reminds me, there's actually a subreddit, there's actually a couple of subreddits, there's actually even some Facebook groups pretty much titled Get It Off Your Chest, where pretty much people just put stuff out there and strangers can comment. Better out than in, eh? Well, we shall see, won't we? Anyway, think of going home to tell your partner about how stupid your boss is and all the unreasonable, out-of-touch things they demanded of you today. We've been there, right?
That would be great. Okay?
Both you and your partner, or best friend, know neither of you are the source or target of this frustration, right?
Yeah.
But most importantly, you don't risk getting fired for yelling, "You're a jackass, Fred."
If you ever say another word about me or make another indecent proposal, and I'm gonna change you from a rooster to a hen with one shot.
Fred, if you're watching this, I wanted to let you know.
Tell Cersei it was me.
And the majority of society is under the impression this is a good alternative to having a very public breakdown when a breaking point is finally hit. Yeah, I guess confiding in your partner is better than, well, letting the whole world see it, right? I think.
I'm a loser, that's why. I'm a loser. I hate my life. I hate myself. No, please, I hate everything.
Listen,
Oh.
you are a winner. You look like... Well...
But this recent review seems to suggest otherwise, and even includes a few other methods of anger management that could be less helpful than we once thought. Oh my god. So what does the review seem to show? Well, to put it bluntly, it seems to show the exact opposite of its intended effects, and seems to be the most common reaction for most people, which really isn't all that surprising when you think about it, as this can cause a lot of resentment, harboring that could otherwise be talked out civilly in the present. So we could just civilly talk about our anger and our resentment or rage, whatever you want to call it. Or we can be...
Let's just calm down. I'm sure we can settle this peacefully and... What?
I guess that's what most people tend to actually pick and have that public meltdown. And also it causes us to dwell more on the negative interactions of our day when we do this. Something the human brain is already doing superbly well on its own without us needing to help it further with this venting. So thank you very much, brain, for causing so much issues and overthinking in my life, right?
Don't be looking at me!
So, additionally, it would seem that the actual act of venting causes most people to return to a state of agitation or being upset, angry, and may keep them there far longer than if they would have just dealt with it and, just let it out once they initially calmed down. Overall, it would seem it is better to breathe and don't vent when faced with anger and stress whenever possible. Again, something that would seem obvious when you think of it objectively. So that's it then. Well, of course, not quite. A lot went into this review before being published, and without getting too technical, a lot was discovered as a result of comparing these 150 studies and their findings to create their data sets for a comparative review. Again, the main point of this study was to review how cathartic these methods of anger management actually are, and how well they helped the participants overall in their ability to deal with anger and stress. So there were other findings worth mentioning as well. One particularly interesting finding is that channeling anger and stress into highly physical activities, such as heavy workout sessions and hard fast-paced running, full contact martial arts and sparring, etc., also seem to cause similar long-term issues as venting if used for anger management. While this doesn't mean all exercise to help with your anger management or stress levels is bad for you, it does mean exercises that seem to engage the same survival instinct parts of your brain can be triggered by certain kinds of exercise and physical exhaustion put on your body. Like for me personally, I can go to the gym, have a great gym session and allow the feel-good hormones to overpower the stress or anger. But sometimes I notice all it seems to do is displace it temporarily, and the problem is not really solved. However, once again, personally, I'd rather take my anger out this way because I would consider it healthy for myself. The study would suggest that low impact or light exercise is better suited for improving a person's overall general mood, if they're working out to redirect stress or the anger. I also noticed that a nice long walk in nature, or my personal favourite, putting my bare feet onto grass, really helps ground myself, and along with deep breathing, settles me a lot too. What do you find useful, guys? Do you find that useful at all? A nice long walk, maybe a long walk on the beach, getting the sea breeze on you? Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. So there are some examples the study suggests would be useful in terms of low impact exercises. So things like yoga, tai chi, stretching, slow, comfortable, paced walking or biking around the place, etc. They tend to trigger a lot of endorphin release, which then seems to be the most successful forms of physical activity to help improve a person's general mood overall, once again, according to the study. So while exercise that requires a person to dig deep into their inner ability, their willpower, their energy, that drives a lot of adrenaline, it just seems to be less successful in improving the person's overall good mood, really. So, does this mean I need to stop venting to people? Again, no, not quite. Done at the right time, in the right place, there are still some beneficial effects reported by some participants in the studies reviewed. It would just seem they are in a minority rather than the majority, as we once may have assumed prior to the review. And in my non-professional opinion, since I'm not a doctor, would you believe I'm not a doctor? I know, right? I don't have doctor in front of my name. God damn it, those MDs. I knew I should have went to med school. Ah well. So in my non-professional opinion, from what I got out of the review and its findings, was that we just need to be more self-aware of our own coping mechanisms and if they're truly helping us deal with a situation in a way that is healthy. Like for example, as I mentioned, me going to the gym and also planting my feet in the grass, I feel is healthy. We also need to self-check in more often on our current emotional state. And we also need to know the difference between healthy catharsis and bottling it up and holding it all in for that anger and stress. You know, like a lot of women and some gay men, okay, they can really make a mental note of it and put it away in their filing cabinet and use it anytime in the next 7 years.
Then how come you never once invited me to one of those parties at your parents' house?
They will release it when you least expect it. So the next time you ask, "Oh honey, what's wrong?" and they respond, "It's nothing. It's just that..." You've been there, right? Be ready. I joke. Some. Too many people mistake venting for poking the bear. Remember, just poke the bear, poke the bear, poke the bear very friendly, okay? And do not realize rather than talking about the stupid crap and getting over it with a laugh or having the other person's perspective on it, they just vent and become enraged, and the unfortunate sessions end in you just shaking, further enraged, or just feeling more worked up again. So that doesn't really help, does it either? You're probably just winding yourself up again rather than actually helping yourself let it go and just getting over it. So there we have it, my lovely unicorns. The next time you need to vent, ask yourself, will this help me? Will this solve my problem by letting it out to someone who wants to listen? Will this deteriorate my mental and emotional state further? Will this bring my partner and I closer to an understanding? Being self-aware is most of the battle, and then dealing with it in a way that we feel is healthy for ourselves. I wish you quick calmness and resolution, my unicorn, the next time you get a little pissed off. Take care.
You know why. Just you know why. Well.
Hello, my lovely unicorns, and thank you for dropping by today. I've been your lovely friend Jay, and if you want to see more of me in the future, and if you have not already, then feel free to smash that subscribe button. If you like the episode, feel free to like it, and feel free to comment so I get to know your mind. And also, if you do get time, feel free to share it to your communities, such as your Discord communities, your WhatsApp communities, whoever you deem is worthy. But until next time, guys, keep all that love in your heart and spread it out to all those, because God knows this world definitely needs it. Until then, I've been your friend Jay, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.